Speaking about listening.
Yes, about to, wow, segue.
Yeah, segue into the topic that we have today, because yes, we do want to highlight today, the 3rd of March is actually a very, very important day that we need to share with all of our fellow viewers. Today is actually the World Hearing Day. Now, a bit of a context in this, World Hearing Day 2024 will focus on overcoming the challenges posed by societal misperception and stigmatization mindsets through awareness raising and information sharing targeted at the public and healthcare providers. I believe this is because a lot of people, they take things too easily, too granted when it comes to, you know, people with problems in hearing or whatnot. They would just diss it out, or they don't even care.
Yes, exactly. And World Hearing Day is not only about our listening impaired friends, but it's also for the rest of us who very, very often take, we don't take care of our hearing. Like I said, I'm one of those people, guilty as charged, whenever I go to, especially when I go for radio, I would blast the speakers out. It's simply because I always say, I cannot hear la, I cannot hear you la. I'll put like the volume at 70 when it's supposed to be like at 20. And our guests are laughing here on the side, by the way. So let's introduce them. We have the senior audiologist from Prince Court Medical Center. Do I call you Dr. Darleena?
No, just call me Miss Darleena.
Okay, Miss Darleena. There we go. I love that. I love that we're going casual. We also have the president of Hear Me Malaysia, MARYAM, SAKINAH, and also a bilateral Cochlear implant recipient, which is Muna. So let's us just say that today we're all matching a little bit. The theme is blue and yellow.
I mean, it brightens up, you know, the studio down here as well. And for a while, we've actually have, you know, 3 lovely ladies together with us, you know, to share how important it is when it comes to World Hearing Day. Now, let's kick things off. I do want to go to the lady in the middle, Maryam. The fact that you are the president of Hear Me Malaysia, how did this all come about? Where did the inspiration come from for you to actually establish Hear Me Malaysia? What was your motivation behind it? Share with us your story.
Okay, so basically, I gave birth to my first daughter 2009, and that was when we went through universal newborn hearing screening in PPUKM that time, and we detected that she had hearing problem.
Okay.
So basically from there, it was a roller coaster ride. Because we never had any hearing impairment issues before in our family. So this is the first. So basically, we were informed by the hospital that she is eligible to go for cochlear implant, and it requires surgery, whereby the doctor has to cut open the baby's head and drill a hole and put in a tiny wire to an implant in there. So it's basically a scary thing for a new mother.
How many months was this, if I may ask?
She was, back then, she was already 2 years old.
Oh, 2 years old.
2 years old.
Still,
So it was still a scary thing to do. So, but we move on, and we went ahead with the cochlear implant, and alhamdulillah now she is 15 years old, and she is hearing, listening, and speaking like normal people.
Nice. 13 years of having the cochlear implant must not have been an easy journey, especially adjusting. I've seen a lot of with the advantage of social media. I watch a lot of videos of young babies and young kids who have cochlear implant. And there's this one child, I can't remember the account right now, but he has a cochlear implant that he can take out and he can put on. So he calls them his ears, right? For Muna itself, what kind of cochlear implant do you have? Is it the one that's attached? Can you please tell our audience?
Basically, her cochlear implant is like the one that is in front of us. So it is attached to her. It's somewhere on the head. It's around there. So it's magnet.
Okay.
So she can take it off and put it back on. So when it is off, she is deaf. She cannot hear. When she sleeps, or when she doesn't want to hear me nagging, she will take it off.
She is a teenager,
Yes. She is a smart teenager.
Oh, very smart.
When her brother and sisters cry, she will take it off.
She will take it off.
So, and then later on, she will put it back on.
I see. Have you actually done that in real life where you're just like, mom's talking too much, let me just dial it down a little bit?
Admit it? Yes, yes, of course, yeah. We'll come back to you, Muna, in a bit, but we do want to understand more a bit about this particular condition because, again, not many Malaysians out there really know how it is or what the numbers are. So maybe Darleena can actually share with us the current statistics on babies born with hearing loss in Malaysia. Is it a common thing or is it something, minuscule? Share with us.
Okay. Now, if you look at international statistics, it's like 1 to 3 babies born with a hearing loss out of 1,000 births.
1 to 3.
Yeah.
So you're talking about 0.3%.
Yes.
Okay.
But having said that, in Malaysia, this is the data from the only from the government hospitals because unfortunately we don't have a full data for the whole of Malaysia.
Okay.
Right.
So from the Ministry of Health, all the government hospitals, the latest prevalence data, it is 4 babies out of 1,000 births.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's quite...
That's quite a significant number, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And from Prince Court itself, ours is slightly lower. So ours is like 1 to 2 out of 1,000 births.
Okay.
So this is where, going back to why do we need to do universal newborn hearing screening, like what she underwent, like this was 2009.
2009.
Okay. Yeah. So the target would be to do the screening by the age of 1 month old.
Okay.
Okay. And to provide diagnostic, meaning you have a complete idea of the status of hearing in terms of level, severity, the type of hearing loss by the age of 3 months, and to provide intervention early by the age of 6 months old.
So you can tell even at that young, like a month old, 3 months old, you could actually tell that?
Yes.
How does the test work?
Yeah.
Okay. How does the test work? Good question. Now, for babies, of course, they can't tell you, right? So what we do is actually we present sounds into the ear, all right, and we look at the responses up to the brain stem, the brain here.
Yeah.
All right.
So we look at the pathway, we introduce sounds, and we look at the responses from the pathway. That will give us an idea how bad the hearing is, or if it's normal, or how bad it is. Because I think that's a myth. Whenever you talk about hearing loss, it's either total deafness, pekak, or it's just just at the eardrum level. When actually no, you've got different categories of hearing loss. It could be a mild hearing loss. Those are the ones that we normally miss.
Okay.
Because usually they would respond to you. You can't see the difference. It's only those with a profound hearing loss that's when you notice the difference, and that is only when the child is maybe 1 year old, when they start to develop speech. It's all interrelated.
Yeah.
So the concept deaf and dumb.
Yeah. It's not, right? Very often people associate when you do not have hearing, that ultimately means you don't have speech as well. But Muna is a great example here where she does have loss of hearing, but she's still able to speak. She's still able to function as a normal human being itself. So we're going to come back to the theme of World Hearing Day 2024, which is the misconception and the stigmatization of...
that's a hard word,
Yes, very, very hard.
She needs to hear it properly after this.
I didn't hear it properly. Like I said, I'm also within this category of people who have slight hearing loss. But going back to the guests, so what were some of the misconceptions or what was going through your mind when you first got that result and you were like, my baby
as a mother
can't hear? How did you get from getting the result to deciding that your child needs a cochlear implant, and what were some of the misconceptions that you thought yourself that has changed?
Okay, so I think it has been years, but we were in denial at first because it's a very hard thing to accept the fact that your daughter is an OKU person. But after a while, we accepted it, and I think the cochlear implant is very new in Malaysia. I can assure you, if we go outside, we ask people what this is, nobody knows. It's a cochlear implant. So basically, one incident when she was a baby, she was wearing her cochlear implant, and we were at a wedding, and there's this lovely auntie who came and kind of nagged at me for letting my young baby to listen to music.
Wearing an earphone.
Yes. So she didn't ask what that was. She just, why are you letting her listen to music at such a young age? I didn't get a chance to explain. She just went away.
Okay.
Well, time to address that auntie.
Yeah, exactly.
on TV.
Today is actually the time to do that.
I hope the auntie is listening and watching. But those are the kind of things people are not used to that, so people don't know what that is. So and nowadays, I think of course the awareness is much more is better than the previous years, but I think there's still a lot more work to be done.
All right. Now, I do want to go to Muna directly now. I mean, again, like she's only turning 15, as she was correcting you just now. Very brave, coming on to the show. Just maybe share with us your experience, because again, now you may understand it a bit more, but how was it for you when you were younger, when you were 7 or 8, when you were still understanding how the world works? Mommy asked me to do this and to do that. How was the experience, if you can share? Okay, deep breaths again.
What was perhaps the change or something that you didn't understand when you're growing up? Because perhaps you saw some of your friends. Hey, my friends don't have a cochlear implant, but I do. So how do you feel about growing up with a cochlear implant?
Well, cochlear implants help me hear, so I can communicate with my friends. I know it's kind of weird because I'm the only one who wear cochlear implants.
Yep. Okay.
When you went through any bullying of some sort, or did anybody was like, hey,
make fun of you?
I actually want to get to know your condition better? Were there friends who were like, I want to be supportive, I want to understand your condition better? Were some of your friends are like that, or were they all like, tak faham lah, why do you need that?
I guess they were supportive, right? I guess they were very supportive.
Very awesome.
I think I think maybe she couldn't answer that question perfectly because she wears tudung, so nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
So the thing is, she grew up going to school, and the whole school doesn't even know that she is a deaf person.
Okay.
Because she's speaking like normal person, and nobody can see her. That's a blessing in disguise because nobody can see her cochlear implant. So I think she never had any bad experience bullying or anything.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, because it could actually be something of a jarring kind of experience. Again, for somebody who doesn't really understand what's going on, especially in a younger person, But of course, under the guidance of the parents and the doctors, would eases the process much better. Muna, I believe in you, loving that. Okay, coming to DARLEENA.
I feel like she's sitting down for an interview.
Trust us, we're nice people.
Work complication over here. She's thinking.
I may be a bit loud. You may want to tune down your volume a bit. I can be a bit loud sometimes.
You can take it off. It's okay. No one will know.
DARLEENA,
but anyways,
your role as what you may call yourself as an audiologist. I mean, again, what is it actually? I mean, is it you're the last line of defense when it comes to really identifying these kind of circumstances, these kind of conditions in anyone out there? Is that your role, or is it more than that?
No, not actually. I mean, as an audiologist, we act as diagnosticians, I would say.
Okay.
Meaning that, for example, babies born, we screen them, we identify the hearing impairment early, and at the same time, we also act as someone who provides rehabilitation.
Okay.
So when we talk about rehab, it's actually more what we call auditory rehab. Now let's be clear. Hearing, there's different levels. It's only those with profound losses, meaning that it's like nearly 100% of loss. That's where cochlear implants comes into the picture.
Okay.
Now you can have a mild hearing loss, moderate hearing loss, maybe like 20%, 40%. It still has an impact on speech.
Okay.
So that's where, the major role of an audiologist is actually to address this.
All right.
Because hearing loss, this type of hearing loss, which we call sensory neural. Okay. I'm confusing people because there's so many types of hearing loss. I wouldn't say so many, but sensory neural is irreversible.
Right, so once it's gone, it's gone.
Once it's gone, it's gone.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So it's non-medically treatable. So that's where we come in to provide the rehab part, meaning the use of devices such as hearing aids, small things like that, and as well as cochlear implants. And let's be clear. People think that when you put on hearing aids, when you put on cochlear implants, that's it. They can hear, they can speak. No. The journey that they had to go through, the rehab with the speech therapists and everything, it's long.
It's a process.
It's a long process, exactly. So she's a fantastic example that, identify the problem early, provide the intervention early, and they can, they can develop speech just like any other normal hearing peers.
Wow.
Okay. So that's our role. Apart from that, mostly about hearing, even in industrial audiology, that is still not, how do I put it, it's not really looked into. Most of us are in hospital settings. Okay, or even hearing aid centers. But we hope to venture into industrial to control. Like you said, we like to hear sounds like really loud.
Especially in it's concert season now, when you're near the speaker. Because
it's all Zoe's fault. I mean, like, this is self-harm.
It's crazy. I mean, because I do a lot of sporting events as well. And whenever they blast the horn, I literally see sound waves moving through the air. And so I can imagine, like, how much damage it could do to our ears, because something that I think the audience really needs to know is that once you lose your hair cells in your ear, it's irreversible damage. You can't, there's no like, when right now I have a flu and tomorrow I can get better. No, once you lose your hearing, you lose your hearing, and it's very important, right?
That's called noise induced.
Noise induced.
Yeah. So industrial, factories. Okay. So even like musicians, you're supposed to wear musician filters. So if you go to sports and whatnot, try to protect your hearing and use all those, noise filters and do a hearing assessment once a year, just to be safe.
I need to know about this hearing assessment. So everyone needs to do it at least once a year.
I mean,
how often?
How often do you need to?
Again, depends. If you're working in an environment that you're exposed to like really loud sounds, then I would say yes, go for it. Just go for once a year.
An appointment right now.
I
think I need to go once in 3 months, actually, having a screaming baby at home, having... I do not want to go through that, But I'm actually also still very interested when you talk about the parents' point of view, again, coming back to you, Maryam, is that you shared with us that tidbit of a story where someone who really didn't know what was going on, went up to you and started to accuse you and whatnot. But ultimately, it is not as easy as what one might think. What you have gone through with Muna earlier, especially with her development. Again, when she's at this age, it's easier for her to understand, but when she's like 4, 5 and 6...
when she was 2, when she was diagnosed.
So how did you cope with that? The mental side of it, the emotional side of it, share with us. How did that go?
Okay, it was really hard. I was diagnosed with depression. And because when you were given, when she was our audiologist, when she gave us, when she asked us to decide whether to go for cochlear implant or not, it's really terrifying to make that decision, because it's a one-way road. You cannot, okay, we want to go for cochlear implant and then just, cabut the thing and not use it. No, you cannot.
No,
it's cannot, for the rest of her life. So it's a very terrifying decision that you need to do. But the support from family is very good. And I think that is where Hear Me comes in. Hear Me is a parent support group where we kind of give information and emotional support to parents, new parents who has just, their children has been diagnosed and they don't know what to do. So basically that is where Hear Me comes in, and Hear Me helps to make sure that the parents make the right decision and as soon as possible, because time is very
Speaking about time, we're almost running out of time, but we do have something.
A little bit short, running out of time.
No, because I'm loving this topic. Can we extend it to half an hour?
Unfortunately, we can't. Our guests have to come in right after this. But before we wrap up our show and before we come back to both of you, I think we want to hear a little bit more from Muna itself. I heard that you wrote us a pantun.
A poem?
Okay. Do you want to recite it to
We
Malaysia?
would love to hear it. Muna, the stage is yours.
Go ahead. Okay.
Yep.
Silence. 0, nothing, empty. My life was once filled with silence. Dunia penuh warna, hirup pikuk sibuk tidak berhenti. Tetapi duniaku sepi tidak bertepi. And suddenly, a miracle. My head was cut open. My skull was dear. A tiny wire was inserted and a device was implanted. Let's switch on. Dengar. Ya, aku sudah mendengar. Bunyi suara mamaku. Bunyi suara kicauan burung. Bunyi laungan azan berkumandang. Aku tidak lagi bersendirian.
Oh, I love that. I love the end of it. In translation to those of you who are hearing.
Can I melt on in the studio now? I want to melt right now.
I want to just emphasize a little bit on the last line where she said, can you repeat the last line again?
What was the last line? Please don't start from the start.
Okay.
But yeah.
The last line was that she can finally hear, right? She's not alone anymore.
Yes.
And I really love that. Really resonated with me because I never think of like, hey, people who can't hear are alone. They're alone in their own world.
Yep.
Okay,
exactly.
We're going to take a quick, short break.
Yeah, do not take for
before I
granted.
cry.
Do not take for granted. At the end of the day, we have to just remind ourselves that do not take things for granted. In whatever it is that you do, we have to appreciate everything. But we also just want to show our appreciation to our guests here today. Once again, DARLEENA ABDULLAH, Senior Audiologist, Prince Court Medical Centre. We got Puan MARYAM, SAKINAH, Abang Abdullah, the President of HEAR Malaysia, and of course, the lovely, the talented muda, RAIHANNAH, MURNI, NAJMI, Bilateral, Cochlear, Implant, Recipient. Thank you so much, ladies, for coming down. Aku dah nak nangis dah sebenarnya.